I'm talking about Annabelle. Fucking Annabelle is coming to Kentucky. And that's gonna be so interesting. I don't know why the hell it's coming here. It doesn't need to come here. I don't think that there's anything worth value here. I mean, Fort Knox is a fucking lie anyway. Let's see. There we go. Things are working now. That's not the button I wanted to push. That's not what I wanted to do either. I don't know why that's there. Ugh, doesn't need to be. She's on tour, but in a fucking briefcase with a cross on it, thinking that that's gonna like. She ain't being released. She's gone caused chaos. Everywhere she's gone so far because the people who are fucking using her are not uh doing anything of what the people who had her before said to do, or probably what Annabelle herself wants to do regardless. I forgot the name of him, but he's an absolute fucking asswipe for what he's doing, because he's just doing a money scheme. That's all he's doing. It's fucking Ryan D. Buell. I know he like worked with the family and stuff, like the Ed, with the Eds and stuff, but like they said not to do this. And then he did it, and then all sorts of shit's like burning down and shit. They put out a fire, and it went right back up because of Annabelle being there. Like, she's literally causing chaos. She's disrupting spirits. You want to have more like chaos within the spiritual realm? This is how we get it. This shit's bizarre. But welcome in, welcome in. Oh my lord. How do you spell his full name? But yeah, I'm just I'm just talking to my friends. Uh, what do you mean has to go on a certain route? There's not a route for chaos. Chaos is just an inert thing that we have here. There's no like, there's not a route to go for chaos. It's just gonna exist. It's the fact that the energies of her and all the other spirits within that doll mashing with everything else externally is what's causing more issues in that sense. It's not really a route that they have to go on. It's just the fact of them being there and present. The route doesn't matter. It's the actual energy of the two bodies who are on that route that creates the spirit to move in a certain way. That's what we're messing with. It has nothing to do with the physical. People who are focusing on the physical with that stuff, they're not tapped in. They're tapped out. They're asleep is what they are. It's not about the physical. When you see things like this happen on the physical, don't look at the physical. Look at it in the spiritual sense. It's about what's going on with the energies mashing, the locations that they're going. Why are they going to these locations? There's a specific reason why. Even if that vessel doesn't fully know why, there's a reason behind it. We're missing in the realm of spirit 24/7. We tend to forget that. That doll could have that man possessed and we wouldn't even know. It wouldn't be the first time that that doll had possessed him. So I'm not surprised if she gets another gateway in, because once a demon finds a way in, they can just fucking use that same hole over and over again if it's not using, proper protection. And this nitwit's not using any protection at all, so. They just want money from it. They see it as a money thing. The Eds were respectful to the doll. Even though it ended up killing the husband, they were still respectful to the doll. Mainly out of fear, though, but they were still respectful to it. This dude's just running around parading it like it's a fucking, like, oh, look how cool this is. We all can see it now. No one needs to see it. The ones who actually know what happened to that doll and what it's capable of don't need that shit out here. It's the ignorant ones who don't believe in this stuff that are really happy and parading it around and stuff, unfortunately. If they were actually tapped in or sensitive to spirit or the elements around us, they would keep that thing in its original box where it was, and they might not even want to move the box because they literally had to bind that doll to the box, and it took the husband fucking a whole day to not only bind that box but then to remove Annabelle from him, which is this cause of death, well, partial cause of death. Which again, like, if you like, I don't know, if people just like looked at like researched the doll and shit happened on the physical because of this doll. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just very obvious to me because I've done graveyard stuff since I was like young, so I know not to fuck with spirits. So it's just weird. Yeah, it's just the Annabelle doll. Because I've been talking about that all day with people. It's just like, I don't get it. And it's coming to Lexington. It's gonna be like close and by. Like, why does it have to be in Kentucky? What's important? Like, I need to go. It's going to Scarefest. I know that much. But do you know how many people are gonna get fucked up at Scarefest because that doll? Like, I'm not like we're talking about people who are like not spiritually inclined going to see this doll because they want to go see it, and then they go bring something back to their house, type shit. Like, I don't. We were warned by the plantation fire that wouldn't go out the fuck off, and that this means war on the land. And unfortunately, Dipwad is just bringing it across everywhere. I want to go so I can ask him like what the actual purpose of, but like I'm a nobody in his realm. I mean, everyone's a nobody in everyone's realm, obviously. So I don't know if I would get an answer, but I definitely do want to go there to like get deeper insight, not only on like him, but also to see if Annabelle is cool with it. Cause like, the fuck are you doing? It's like taking your dead dad's or dead mom's ashes and then parading it around the fucking state, saying, "Look at my dead mom." Like, are you cool with that? I should ask my mom if she's okay with me doing that before I go. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking a spirit, someone who's dead, pissed off, very pissed off, obviously, has been pissed off for ages, and just wants to either leave or terrorize, and then you're parading it around, and if it if it wishes to terrorize, bitch, it's gonna terrorize. Ain't nothing gonna stop that thing. It's been locked in that cage for how long? You know? It's, I don't know. It's like these things are very obvious to me. These things are so obvious to me, but it just like I look out in the world and I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, they just asking to get hurt. And then they're gonna wonder, oh, all these natural disasters are happening. It's a sign from God. I don't, which, I mean, sure, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I think it's funny. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm just like, I'm baffled though. I'm just really baffled, dude. Dude, it's so funny because even people who don't even like mess with like spiritual stuff like ghosts or anything of that nature, or even like know about Annabelle, are still like, why the hell is that doll here? I will say, however, we have got some really good humor and really good like comedy out of this doll. Like, the whole scare of it going missing was a whole like facade. Um, I seen this video a day after of the doll disappearing. There's some dude taking a replica of the fucking Annabelle doll and shaking it in front of the camera during with music playing in the background like it was dancing, and that shit was funny as hell. Other than that, I don't know. I'm kind of on this side where I'm just laughing with it, but this stuff is crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be happy being trapped in a doll either. I'm gonna be real. I was in a room trapped around dolls when I was young because my mom was like a doll collector, and that's where the computer was. So like, I know how it feels to be surrounded by a doll. I don't think I would like to be a doll. You know what I mean? I got one side of it back down. I mean, yeah, our macro effect is just us existing here, though. We don't have to do any sort of actual action on the physical to change what happens on the physical. The density of our own energy itself is what changes it, you know? right now we're living in a world where it's mainly man controlled, which is why, you know, everything is controlled by manifestation or infesting man or mind onto the lands rather than just existing with what it has and allowing that to grow with you in that sense. That's kind of like the backwardsness of the of this realm is literally everything is patented and like owned by some like corporation, the US corporation, which is what the United States is a gigantic fucking business. It's nothing new obviously, but you know, we everything that we have is basically man-made or man-tampered. It's been infested by man, so until we actually, you know, remove our own efforts to try and change the physical and just to move with what we have in the spiritual, in that sense, we won't really be in that sort of realm. Because even in the ebb and flow of life, like suffering is always gonna happen to those who choose it, you know, because everything's always happening. It's just up to you to choose it on how it's actually going to, you know, move through you. So you choose to get mad, you choose to feel sad, you choose to hold on, you choose to, you know, do all these things, but you have to actualize that you do choose them first before you can actually see the control, the manifestation, the investment of mind over things or over self. Well, the ego, it's not about training the ego. The ego, you don't need train. The ego is I. You are the ego. There's nothing about it. You know, it's not good or bad. There's no training it. You just experience, you observe. There's no training within the experience. The only thing there is pattern recognition. That's like your training. That's your call and responses, you know, stimulated and unstimulated responses. That's all it is. And that's all the ego like knows of. It can see those things. It's the mind that then creates all these other things from the realm of feeling that it can also have access to. You have free will to tap into the realm of the heart, and so does your mind, but your mind can't enter the heart. That's the only difference between you and the heart. I mean, you and the mind. The mind can't enter the heart because the mind is too impure. You yourself are pure in yourself until you strip away, and I mean, not strip away, but stray away from the heart and go towards the mind. Stray away from the spiritual, the mother, and go towards the physical in that sense. I've never heard that that name before, that game before. Or are you talking about the Ouija board? The Ouija board. The Ouija board. Exactly. If you can recognize a pattern, you can de-recognize it. So whenever you experience something like, oh, this is why I like Tibetan monks, like this is what they do mentally. It's like, oh, this hurts. It doesn't hurt. This is just a response that my body is familiar with. When I was younger, I didn't have any control over my mind, so it just assumed it hurt. My parents and peers around me would say ouch and make noises of pain to make me now be conditioned to think that that thing actually hurts when it didn't actually hurt until I heard those things. It might have had a sensory feeling on the flesh, and that confusion, that frightened sense might have also caused that crying due to fear, but that's again a conditioned stimuli from not knowing that. It becomes conditioned as it continuously happens and it doesn't change. It only becomes stronger and heavier at that point. Yeah, the fact that Hasbro does that is wild. But yeah, Ouija boards is not really like to contact demons. You talk to any spirit with the Ouija board. Most people associate it with contacting like demons and lower vibrational entities because some people just are stupid. They want to go down that route and they only look at it that way. But you can talk to your dead grandma. You can talk to all sorts of shit. You just have to know how to use a Ouija board. It's a lot more than just putting the thing down and saying that little phrase and then asking your questions. There's a whole setup and gimmick to it, truly. because you got to make sure that you're not only protected, but that you have, you know, awareness of trickster spirits, and that when you're contacting these spirits, that you have the intent and the mind power and the willpower to not stray away or be taunted, even possessed in certain situations, depending on what you're contacting. But those who don't know how to use the tool are usually the ones that get fucking possessed. The actual ones that know how to use the tools, usually, you know, they won't use them a lot, but they'll have them around. They know how to use them. And, you know, after a while, even after you use the Ouija board for a while, you start to understand, like, how to, you know, how spirits actually fully communicate in that sense. And then you don't really need to use it in the sense. And that's why most people, when they use Ouija boards, they go to crystals and stuff, or pendulums, or other ways of doing things like that. Other ways of talking to spirits in that sort of sense, just to get more specific, more accurate, less like, I guess, training way of it. No, you can call on anything and anyone, and welcome in, Boo. You can call on anything and anyone. You just have to know how to call upon it, and if you're doing any form of like ritual, have what they need. If they require an offering, get an offering. If they require a sacrifice, create a sacrifice. A lot of people think the sacrifice has to be physical because that's what they're attached to and that's what they're wanting. Not all sacrifices have to be fucking physical, dude. You can sacrifice time to take out time to pray to that entity, that deity, or whatever, right? You don't have to actually do a physical one. And a lot of people get confused and scared. Sometimes your sacrifice is a sacrifice to letting go of a way of being that you have to do. You know what I mean? It's not always as physical. And the only reason why people would do things on the physical in that sense and do physical alchemy, rather than like the internal or any other form of alchemy in that sense, is because they aren't aware of the elements themselves. They're not aware of how to actually channel those energies. So they actually have to produce it, which is a sign of like weakness. Not like weakness isn't like they're weak, but weakness is a sign of like solar plexus, sacral chakra type stuff. But yeah, I used to use Ouija boards all the time. When I was a kid, I was doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing as a kid. I was talking to graveyard things. I was looking at cryptids like in the woods and shit. I was using Ouija boards in school. I went through that chapter of like occultism like young. It was very interesting. But it's really not as scary as you think. It's really like you in your mind. If your mind is strong, that it makes it harder for certain entities to crack it. Of course, every entity has like their own, you know, like their own branch that they can get at. You know, you have your dukes, your princes, and whatever. It's your jinns, your banshees. However, like your angels and all your other spirits, right? But you know, they all have different ways of getting at you mentally. And it's just about having that mental protection, not allowing that fear to overtake you, because you can get lost. And I mean lost both spiritually and physically by doing stuff in the wrong way, by messing with the wrong stuff. Like, not only will you not have any form of like physical recollection, like you just have like memory fog, you know, memory loss and things of that nature, but you just won't have any sort of like true spiritual connection. You won't be listening to any form of like actual spiritual sense. Whatever has attached to you is just basically gonna be talking to you for the rest of however long. If you haven't done like a mirror cleanse or like a shadow cleanse, which is kind of the same thing as like a mirror cleanse, I would definitely do that if they're still popping around, Julie. Because whenever things pop around in reflections, that's like a mirror world. So that's your not necessarily your alter ego, sort of realm, but it has an attachment to like the shadow aspect of self, your reflection, the part of you that is there, but you don't see it till you face it, right? But that's what mirrors kind of, you know, represent, you know, esoterically, I guess. But definitely like do a mirror cleanse, do like uh, a whole thing with that, you know, writing like a sigil or like a protective symbol on like all the four corners of your mirrors and stuff. Rubbing it down with either like salt, vinegar, and lemon water, or like Florida water or something. Okay. Well, well. I'm gonna say that's good. I'm gonna. I can't just sit there and say that because of like the opposites there, but at least it's not popping up anymore, and that's good to hear. Because like mirror things can be very tedious. Uh, uh, the only thing that comes up to my mind is the entity Zozo. And I haven't had any encounter with him personally, but from the people around, they have mentioned that it's either like a whisper or like a backwards voice. It's not fully backwards. It's like it's forward and then it fades in the back. It fades backwards. It's like the reverb of the voice is backwards. It tunnels that way, if you get what I mean. Um so yeah, that's what I've heard of. Yeah, that's probably Zozo. Was like if the board is like if it's going like that all the time, like left to right, like 0 to 9, 0 to 9, or like A to whatever the fuck the letter would be, H or I think, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, if it's doing that, that's it's like Zozo's coming through, actively opening that portal. So you might want to leave and stuff. I've seen people like sit there and go, "This is so funny, it's happening," and then like they just fucking get possessed. I've watched people randomly get nosebleeds and all sorts of weird shit happen, like lights flicker, light bulbs busting and shit, and they just got a portal open in your house now that you don't know how to shut because you just play with the Ouija board for some reason. Um, Let me do this real quick before I... Yeah, and like being able to remember past lives is a thing. Your soul is eternal. It's not a need to believe it. It's a fact. It's just a fact of biology. Time is eternal. It's never going to end. Um, and yeah, see, that's the thing. That was with me too. Like, I never had those experiences, but I made sure to like watch a lot of videos on it and stuff. But you know, as long as you like closed it, like if you said goodbye and stuff, you should be fine. But if not, I don't know how uh per se to get rid of that entity if they are around. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, right? Um, but I could definitely do research on that. But yeah, stuff like that usually happens as a child because you're more apt to like hearing, realms and stuff. Anyway, back to the other question. Lost you for a minute. Hold on, I'm multitasking with answering questions right now. I'm multitasking with answering questions. Hold on, my brain's going like 1,000 miles right now. But it's a fact of biology, and just physics with past lives and remembering them and recollection. Because the soul is eternal and time is eternal, and the soul, even though time is like the man-made time itself, is an illusion because you can't gauge what's been internal. You can't put a number on things that are infinite. You can't make it finite. It's not how it works. But I don't know the actual reasoning behind it truly. I think it's something to do with the Fibonacci sequence or something, and how it just is completely endless. Anyway, you can remember the past things from your past lives. Your past traumas. Your past lives also are an acclamation of your ancestors or the parents that you had that created you, and the parents that created the parents that created you. So you're not only just dealing with your soul's lineage, but you're also being mixed in with DNA of lineages that also have other traumas, and that's how like links and stuff happen. But recollection of past lives are a thing because they flow through. You're made of it. It's actually in your DNA. It's the events and series of things that's happened to people that had a part of giving birth to you and creating you that you carry through, and you can have visual and like sensory experiences within those past events and not really know why, and it comes from that DNA source. And that's just where you like need to work with yourself, and it's harder to talk about when working with like that aspect because I don't know how to do it. I don't even know if it's like possible in that sense, but it's just doing that deep shadow work that then clears up those blockages in a sense. um But yeah. Uh, yeah, that's like that's the point of breaking. Like that's the chain, the whole like you're the chain breaker of your ancestors. They called it like that's what that's talking about. What you're going through, Julie, is like the experiences that feel very similar to past things are there to show you the cycles that you're there to break, or it's there to show you like what boundary you need to take. It's not only just a thing that's happened like current, like in the present, but it's stuff that you end up thinking about in the past and getting new mindsets about and seeing deeper into the in the next life or in the next incarnation of your soul or your offspring or however they won't have to go through that or go through it as much as they'll already have that wisdom or that data within them since it came from you, which is why it's important to meet like equally yoked partners. And it doesn't mean like, you know what I mean by that. It's like genetically, if you wish to have like a non-trauma child, it's best to go on the healing journey and you know mate with someone who doesn't have that. That's just how genos works and stuff. Welcome in, Anita. How we doing? How we feeling? And you're not a problem. Don't say that about yourself. There's no need to say that. 6 day drunk binge. It's all right. We go through things. Is there anything you need to talk about? Anything on your mind? You know, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help. Yeah, it's trauma. Word. But yeah, it's trauma. That's like what holds on. Yeah, I was on a 3 year binge. Honestly, when I first got kicked out in like what was it 2021, uh yeah, I started really bad binging. Uh I got I mean like smoking weed, you know, alcohol, and that delved into being addicted to ecstasy for like a year or like half a year. No, it was a year. It was around like a year. And then I broke out of that, and that was rough. Um, Anita, don't worry. Don't worry about feeling freaky about saying the word love. The word love does not have any condition to me. When people say I love you, I don't think it means something freaky. You know, when I hear I love you, I hear I love you. I don't hear nothing else. So I love you as well. There's no need for it. Trust me. You are in the right place to just openly say I love you without having to worry about someone taking it in a weird way. It's I wouldn't. If you have a very addictive personality, stay away from it. Cause my ecstasy addiction came from Adderall. And then after I did Adderall, like I was like, that's fun, that's cool. And then ecstasy came along, and that was rough. I was popping like 5, 6, 7 pills a day for like 10 weeks straight. I didn't eat for 2 weeks at a time. It was really bad. And then I did acid one day and fucking snapped myself back into shape. That's when that's Archangel Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel came down and was like, "You had to get your life fixed up." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they were just talking smack about me. I was looking around my room; it looked awful. I started crying, and then I like immediately after I sobered up, started like throwing shit out and got fixed up. But yeah. That was I did not used to be who I used to. We all have a past. I was very, very trauma ridden. I didn't know how to heal from like being kicked out of the house after a year after my mom died. I was like trying to cope with all that shit. Not moving in with strangers, having a roommate who was addicted to meth, who then stole all of my items and knives and shit and sold them for meth, and then proceeded to like act like he didn't do anything, even though we actively saw him do it, and then like all the other shit. It was just crazy. So like I've been like a year sober, technically a year, almost 2 years sober of anything, and that's been good. But it's just been rough. We have that past. I believe in the Exorcist. Uh, Not necessarily how that movie was portrayed, but I believe the events did happen. It's not very common, but there are very rare cases where exorcisms do lead to those sorts of actions and that type of behavior. Normally, your exorcisms are like addictions. That's usually it. Or if it's like, I don't know how to stop this, I feel like I was born this way, that type of thing, you can get exercise for those things as well. Depending. That's what exorcisms are mainly used for. In very, very rare cases, that stuff does happen. But it's not as common as you would think. And only like exorcists who have been in the field for 20 like what are they tenured, like only tenured exorcists get those cases anyway, and those who are seriously wanting to go down that path have a chance to like work under their wing and stuff, depending on the person, of course, right? But when you're doing those type of exorcisms, it's a very serious thing, and you cannot have any fear in your body, because if you do, you will unexorcise your victim, and then whoever the fuck had fear and let that demon in is now gonna go suffer. And then that demon now has two hosts that it can bounce back and forth through, which can be very difficult and awful. You're good. You're good, Anita. I have not seen the movie Magicians in Heaven Haven. Yeah, but you're good. There's no need to like worry over here. We don't. You do what you got to do. If you look up and it seems like I'm like irritated, I'm just spaced out. This is just my default face. I don't have a very friendly default face, but it switches up instantly. So don't worry about that. You know how it is. Um, but quitting addictions, that it's a huge thing. Like anyone that can quit the smallest addiction is serious. Okay. I'll have to look it up. I've never I've never heard of it before. Then again, I don't know much about any media. I'm gonna be real. So, um, but yeah, don't be hard on yourself. No, dead ass. I'm not mad. It's just how my face is. It's like I can't really help it unless I consciously am like aware of it all the time, and that's just not something I need to do. I don't need to stress myself out. Do I look like I'm angry? Do I look like I'm angry? I'm fine. I know I'm not angry. It don't matter what I look like. That's all it needs to be focused on. But yeah, don't be hard on yourself. It's difficult. It really is. It because and don't let online appearances fool you. Like don't let like the I mean, I don't even look like that. I don't even portray that anyway. But I can, you know what I mean? Like just don't let people think like, "Oh, everything's happy and good on my side." Like don't let that fool you because there's things happening in everyone's life behind the scenes that are causing distress or bits of like dis-ease. Like it's not as perfect as it seems. Like media is a lie. The internet's a fucking awful lie at times. So don't get fooled by it. That's why I do my best to stay transparent because like if I can just keep that stability of like shit happens and like it's not always like sunshine and rainbow, and sometimes we got to get together and cry. Sometimes that's okay. Yeah, the spiritual 1,000 yards there. That's basically it. Like it's the it's the small moments of like inner diving that just randomly happens and you're like damn this stuff has happened or like damn these things are happening. Oh no, I'm explaining the ins and outs of why it's bad for the not really the why it's bad, but I'm explaining the ins and outs of how they bound Annabelle and the box together to a friend. Cause I got like a few of them like like because I said Annabelle's coming to Kentucky and everyone's like why and freaking out about it. The same thing as I was earlier. So I'm like I'm out here geeking about I'm out here geeking about Annabelle. Oh man. Why is that the first thing I gotta come back and look at? Every Barbie needs a dream house. That's the first thing I was in the zone typing and all that stuff, and I look at the chat file. It's just fucking every Barbie. I love this place. I really do. No, but I do have a really cool announcement that I'm working on currently, and I'm very excited to do it. I'm working on a new system of Enochian magic Um, and it's gonna have how I make the spiritual contracts. It's gonna have like all the things, like the rituals and stuff that I've come up and ended up finding, or like coming across angels and things that I've found, and how I work with it in this system, because the way that I use Enochian magic is not how it is, and I've been guided to kind of like make a grimoire of it, and I already have a bunch of stuff in line about it, so it's going to be very cool. It kind of it operates off of like, you know, two systems in a sense, that combine together, but it goes down to the depths of like how to make the sigils that I make. uh it goes into like the the angels that I mainly call upon, how to call upon them and stuff, resources of people that I've studied and things to help me find other angels and stuff, and it's just, I don't know. uh, uh, the ethers, you don't really visit the ethers in that sense. Ether is the energy, is a source. It's an energy that you can carry. It goes up, it goes up to 9. But the main ethers that you mess with is 6 ether and 9 ether. And that's determined, that can be seen, excuse me, by like your hair. That's why they have hair types, like F1 and stuff like that, like for hairs and stuff. That's like the energy of the coil from the hair. The more coiled your hair is, the more ether you have, the more spiritual connection you would have in that sense. Well, the more ability you would have to access those realms, you would, if chosen to be. If you choose to be. That's what I meant by if chosen to be. If you choose to, of course. But it all goes down with that. It's more of a biology thing, but the term ether and like non-ether and stuff came from Dr. Malachi Z. York, and he breaks it down a lot more. But in its simplest state, it is just the energies of life and death. Six ether is a lower vibrational energy. It's more dense. In 9 ether is a higher vibrational energy. It's less dense. It's more coiled and less straight in that sense. But yeah, I'm really excited to make this to start with this thing, because I really want, because Enochian magic doesn't have to be difficult, and the way that I was like brought into it was really weird. Like, I didn't have any knowledge of what it was at first. I just knew it as angel magic for like the longest time. Um, and I can attempt to help. Uh, I can't really get a reading unless I have like your son's permission, of course. So I can't do that. Um, but we can definitely talk about it either in here. You can email me about it, and we can do that. For sure. But I'm always down to help in any way, shape, or form I can. I might not be able to find an exact answer, but I can always find, or at least help to find like a way, or like someone else who could help. But I'm always down to give it a shot. Ain't no reason to not. What's my email? My email is, it's in the pinned, but I'll type it out for you just in case, because I know some people have issues with like getting the pinned messages to like work. So I got you. But that is my email. But yeah, I definitely I can kind of relate. I wasn't. I mean, I was kind of going through the same thing around the age of 14. Um, I was very suicidal from like the ages of like 10 till like 19, and that was just my dark night of the soul. So I can definitely understand like not only like the worry you have, but also like kind of may hopefully I can relate more relate to like what he's going through as well. But I completely get that because even when I was like I always like, some of my shadow work included thinking back to that era of my life. Um, so yeah, no, I got you. Like email me about it and we will work through it as far as we can get. You know, we can only do so much. I mean, I can only give so much advice. At the end of the day, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, call services if need be. But you know, I can do my best to kind of help you in the you know in the best ways that I can. Yeah, of course. If you would like me to talk to him as well, I can talk to him as well too. Like that's perfectly fine. We can set something up for that as well. Um, yeah, you know, because you know it's always good to try to get like a solid ground on things and then you know move forward. But I got you. If you need me to talk to him, I can definitely do that. Just make sure that it's comfortable with him first, because you know I don't want to intrude on anyone, and it's always best to make sure everyone's comfortable if we're gonna talk about anything like this. You know. But yeah, I got you. I mean, me, I still even have scars, dude. You can still see some of the scars on my arms. A lot of them have healed over, and one of them has a tattoo over it. No, it doesn't. Never mind, I lied. The tattoo's right below it. But I still have a lot of mine on there, and you really don't get rid of them. I was lucky enough to have softer skin, so they're not like deep or puffy. You have to kind of like I can't even show them on camera. They won't show up that much. Like I used a lot of coconut butter and stuff to really smoothen out my skin so they wouldn't get all puffy. But like if you were in person, you can see like the shine on it where they were. Um, so they don't go. I mean, some people aren't as lucky as that, but it's definitely not worth self harming yourself. The whole like science behind why that even is a thing is because when you're in that depressed mode, you can't send out any endorphins at all. Your brain is actually defiant of that deficient, I mean, of endorphins that actually can allow you to feel. That's why people who get depressed feel numb. They actually their endorphins stop sending. So when they cut the skin, that sends that pain impulse, like releases the endorphins. So it's not that they know it. This their brain is like, I need to feel something, and the only thing that they can think of to feel to get create that feeling is pain, unfortunately. But that's like the whole science behind like why people do that. I did a lot of digging and a lot of research into this stuff after I went through it because it was like, why was I doing this? I like instead of beating myself up over myself, I kind of dug into the science because this happened for a reason. No one ever taught me or told me that I could cut myself. I never heard of that before in my life. I was very sheltered around violence. So when I heard that, I was like, I like when I told people when they seen those scars, like, who told you to do this? Like, no one did. I just thought about it myself, and it was like, oh, so you're fucked up. No, I didn't. No, it's a brain process. I didn't know. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I got you because I know how it is. And Mark, I mean Mac, of course you can ask us a question. What's going on? Um, Welcome in, Lisa. How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing? How we feeling? Exhausted. Hell yeah, I feel that. I'm typing out the title for the end of this stream, and the only thing I can think of is Annabelle discussion. Memorial Day. Yeah. Was that last week or this week? Oh damn. That is not fun. That does not sound fun at all. I need to look that up. PTSD. Ooh. That's even worse. Welcome in, Mac. I mean, hey, Mac. Oh, you were in here already. But yeah, you can ask a question if you need to. It's perfectly fine. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just relaxing. I don't know why I did that. Apparently, I'm breaking my tarot box too on accident. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, it's been a nice day. I did not get to do my 4 a.m. meditation. That's the only thing that I could like say went wrong today. I woke up at I didn't wake up at 4. My alarm didn't wake me up. I woke up at like 4, like 30 something. And I tried to do it and I failed, dude. I couldn't concentrate on my breath. It just was not a time to meditate. It was really hard. So I gave myself grace, went back to sleep, and said that we will just do the other ones today. Tarot can't tell you who's coming towards you and can't future predict in that sort of sense. So tarot can't do anything of that nature. Tarot can only help you connect to the parts of you that you aren't seeing. Tarot only connects you to your heart space, to the divine part of you that is instructing you constantly. You gotta be careful of the ones that try and future predict for you. Those are scammers. And if you're watching those YouTube videos, don't watch them because they're not telling you anything that's true. They're relating to your rational mind and they're relating to the part of you that is still controlled by lower vibrations rather than resonating with you at a higher frequency. Any read cards? Reading cards requires you to know what tarot actually is. And this is where a lot of people don't have the answer to. If you don't know tarot, then you can't read tarot cards. Simply as. Yeah, playing cards. Playing cards goes off the same symbology as tarot. Well, the same. It's an off branch to tarot, but if you're reading just playing cards, that's different. Playing cards don't have any form of like actual information when it comes down to it. The divination practice of reading cards only compares the suits of the cards to the suits of the tarot. The wands, the cups, the swords, and the pinnacles. And then they also compare the numerology of the cards, the 1 through 10, of the elements, and the 1 through 10s of the cards and of their shapes, the clubs, the spades, the hearts, and the diamonds. So first, just knowing what numerology is. Learning numerology will help you learn reading playing cards in that sort of sense. But if you were to read playing cards in the sense of tarot, you would look up like what that playing card represents in tarot. So like if you got the three of hearts, that's the three of swords. No, it's not the three. No, no, the hearts would be cups. It'd be the three of cups. Excuse me. The three hearts would be the three of cups. Excuse me. I don't know why I said swords. So what you would do is you would look at the three of cups on look that image up and then dissect that card. And this is the three of cups. You've been watching tarot. You've been watching people read things wrong and lie and tell you falsities since 2017. Those people don't know they don't know what they're reading. They're not reading really anything when it comes down to it. And I just hope that they break out of that spell eventually because they don't know tarot. If they were reading actual tarot cards, they would actually be helping people. You wouldn't see slews of comments saying, how do I get out of this? Why are they still doing this? Why are they still doing this and that? They're not actually helping. I don't know. Some people in hoodoo use playing cards and stuff, but like again, those people are like focused on the ego. Like they're not even reading tarot. They're so focused on the physical and what's like going towards them and who's doing what that they're not even realizing that the fact that they keep involving themselves in it, the fact that they keep doing those things is the reason why things keep happening in themselves in their life. So they end up getting this ego gratification of thinking that they're so strong, yet they're actually so weak, and their ego is giving them this bluff effect of, oh, I'm so strong, everyone that comes against me keeps getting defeated. No, honey, you just keep running into the same people and you keep leaving, and you're growing more and more numb to the fact that you're hurting yourself more and more each time you do it, and your ego is really happy that you're ignoring what your soul wants you to do. But people aren't ready for the conversation. Well, most readers aren't ready for the conversation because they built up their entire lives off of it. But welcome to Earth, where the whole Earth is built off of a lie. So if you're afraid to live, you know what I mean? Goodness gracious. But yeah, reading dominoes is interesting. On point due to a rational point. They're not actually helping you. They might tell you names, they're not right about it. Not everyone is doing magic on you in that sense. And in that simple form of it, they're not reading tarot correctly. They're not doing anything helpful. I'm telling you right now. You can be fooled by that illusion of feeling like you are a victim for life, and you can live that route as that's what they're going to portray to you. They'll make you feel like the victorious victim, which does not exist. That's what you reclaim. That's your reward at death when you follow them, basically. Is I've done nothing to elevate. I've felt attacked and put under by other people, but I've always been told that the end is going to be greater. Your end is going to be a repeat of the beginning that you had when you first realized that in your life. You know, the truth of it is those readers are giving you the antichrist agenda. The antichrist agenda is keeping you focused on external events and outside things so that you're not focused on your internal, so that you can actually elevate and be enlightened, so you can leave this vessel and move forward. And leaving this vessel isn't just a physical leaving where you're going to wherever you're going to after this, this life is over in this vessel, but we're talking about being able to leave your vessel in the sense of not being controlled by the flesh or the realm around you, being able to move with the realm to create what you actually desire. Those readers don't know how to do that. They don't know how to read that. They can't, because they haven't tapped in. They're tapped out. They're asleep. The external events that are happening around you are just the internal events happening in you. If someone's attacking you, it's your brain. It's trying to tell you that your brain's attacking yourself. Your brain's dismissing this. Your brain's dismissing that. Black magic is doubt. Black magic, death magic is you stopping yourself from doing things. It's just inverted. They're telling you about the external, so you're worried about people, places, and things. That's going to get you not where you want to be. That's going to keep you away from your soul. That's going to keep you stuck in your mind, away from your heart, in your lower chakras, mainly in your root chakra, because you're so worried about your security that you actually end up falling off your path, and you're not listening to any sort of divine instruction. You're now listening to the rational mind of what would make it comfortable over the divine. If you're enlightened, you would speak enlightened. Enlightenment isn't just a knowing thing. Enlightenment isn't a thing that you just have happen to you. Enlightenment is a path that you walk on and you follow. If you still say I as in the capital I, you're not enlightened. If you still use certain words and certain frequencies, you're not enlightened. You're still at a lower frequency because you're weighed down by your own insecurities to be at an enlightened point and to speak and to be and to vibrate at that enlightened point. That's the difference. The online things of life is a facade. They'll give you half of the treatment. The full treatment is taking that rest of it. Having wisdom is nothing without putting it to the test, without going through that fire. You know, same thing for knowledge. You can know things, but it's not going to do any good until you actually get nourished by it. Nourishment is that wisdom. That fire is the knowledge. I mean, that's the thing. You can always be like, there's witches and people are doing stuff, but that doesn't matter. Who cares? How are they stopping you? Why are you allowing them to stop you? Why do you feel like you have to blame things on other people instead of bettering yourself? You see, you're giving them ammo by making them more powerful in your mind. By watching these readings of these people trying to do things to you, you now have a unstoppable force going against you, a stoppable force, a force that can be stopped by their own mind and by their own paradigms around them. So now that force is able to interact with you because you have stayed still in your lane. Nah, that's not what enlightened means at all. It might mean that to you in your rational sense, but not what enlightenment actually means. The word enlightenment is made up of many words. Enlightenment. Light in mint. Light in the mental. It doesn't mean meditation. You can be enlightened without meditation. In fact, meditation is the thing that you're actually constantly in. It's called observing, but we're not aware of it all the time. Your awareness of your surroundings does not mean you're enlightened. Your awareness of your internal self is you're enlightened. If you're focused on the external, you're not as enlightened as you think. You're reading the realm. If you can't see that realm from an internal standpoint first, you're not reading the realm. You're seeing what you can see from the rational eye to the physical eyes. You're not saying, no, there's no, that's what I'm saying, hold on. You would say it that way if you were saying it. There's the difference. You're talking to someone that knows these things, that's walked these paths. You are meditating all the time. You're not conscious of it. Meditation is not an action. It's a state of existence. It's a state of being. You choose to meditate. When you think and ponder, that's meditation. When you're sitting off and staring into space, that's meditation. When you're calming your thoughts and breathing and trying to ground or just being focused, those are forms of meditation. Those are forms of channeling that energy in for that purpose. You're always meditating. When you focus on a bad thought, you're meditating on that mad thought. Why do you think it's called premeditation? When you get that charge for thinking about murdering someone, and then you go out and do it. Premeditated murder. You meditated about it. You sat there and thought about it. Meditation is simply that. You know, you can't. You're talking to someone that's walked these roads, man. Meditation necessary? It can be for some. If you don't know how to calm your own nerves, yes. If you can't control your own breathing, if you can't stay steady and stay on the line, then yeah, you need meditation. But you don't really need to actually practice it because you constantly do it. You need to become more aware of it. I mean, Mac, I just know I'm right. This is the thing. There's no thinking about it. There's no belief in it. I have seen it. I have studied it. I have seen it happen in reality. I have seen examples of it in real time. It's just a fact. I don't come up here to speak fallacies. I don't come up here to speak out my ass. I come up here to speak nothing but truth. And it's not a truth that's focused on the external, because that's a lie. That's a false truth. That's half of a truth. The real truth is internal fully. Has nothing to do with anything external. It all starts internal first. Overstanding that puts you in that enlightened purpose. It's about remembering, and not remembering in the sense of, oh, I remember this as a thought, but remembering yourself, being membered again with who you are, with the feminine and masculine being at equal playing grounds and you being in the middle. Oh, oh, word. If you're watching any of these YouTube readers, I'm just like, you gotta stop. They're ripping y'all apart. Y'all want to defend them so bad. I can't stop you on that, but I would never in my life defend an antichrist agenda, dude. I'm okay with I'm okay with what I with sticking with fact and truth, man. I'm okay. But nah, like after after getting the truth of tarot and studying it, all readers on this platform that I've seen are just reading it wrong. Um, it's I don't know. I don't know. You have to just walk down the path, I guess. It's just something that I've experienced internally, and I just cannot shake it off because I've realized the abuse of the feminine within this tarot community, honestly, and it's not good. The things that we would like to call downloads are not downloads. They're called uploads. We're being uploaded with information. Where if you download it, downloading means you're taking it from a source. You're taking it. When you're uploading, you're giving it to. Something is giving you things. Why would you take it? Like, these words that people use tell you what they're doing. And it's no one's talking about the etymology or the origins of words. No one's actually remembering what spirituality is. It's like it's awful for me to sit there. I can't even like humor it. It's just not something I can do. It's like it's one way or the other. It's not. It's I don't know. I don't know, because the only reason why I can speak about the things that I do at the level I do is because I've genuinely, it's not even just been like the past few years. Most of the things that tarot teaches are things that I've like learned and like realized young, and it's just bizarre to see all those same lessons there, to see all the like basically every story, childhood story that you've heard is in that deck. Everything, the entire world is in the deck, literally and figuratively. And it is your handheld mirror for the reality around you, basically, if you need one. And people are using that mirror as a portal to draw other things in, to create what they want, to create their reality. their way of seeing things into an existence of people that can't grasp that. Which is why it's the external viewpoint rather than the internal viewpoint. You won't need to see the internal, you just feel it. You wouldn't need to sit there and search and to think mentally. You would just have to visually, it's like, see the realm around and then feel. The brain wouldn't be a process in it. Well, the thinking wouldn't be a process, and it would be a simple feeling and then a movement forward. Shit's bizarre. But yeah, I know. It's OG. I'm very tough nut with it. I will be upfront. I'm very, very tough nut with this stuff because I cannot shake off the experiences that I've had with tarot. I've done some very, very interesting meditations with the cards, just looking and deeply into the images, because I realized, when we see things, we're not really looking at it. We're just glancing. I've talked about this before. We're just glancing at it because you don't see the full picture until you take time to study every detail and memorize that detail and see it. Then you have the whole image. And doing that with every card is a journey itself. And it just depends on what journey you want to take, dude. And if you want to take the external journey where you're focused on other people's life, you go for it. But it will take you for the same exact hard spin that it will if you look at it as an internal factor. It will radically shift. You don't even got to believe in God, dude. The deck itself will just tell you that there's God there. You don't even have to believe in it. It's just how it is. There is a force that's going to give you things no matter what, and it's always going to be for your highest good. And if you don't use it for your highest good, that's on you. That's the whole thing. And then that's where your free will comes in. Are you going to say that you did something bad and damn and say it's a sin? Or are you going to agree with your actions and move forward? It's a moral compass debate against you and yourself, not against the world around you. And tarot really fucking puts that in your face, because it's like, hey, it's between your brain and your heart. Like, who do you want to follow? And everyone wants to follow the heart, but the free will of the mind has to protect. Oh, you don't want to do this because XYZ. Look at the physical realm around you. You can't do that. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, I'm fucking hard nut. Exactly. It's not even that they're clairs. It's that they're channelers. And they have to use the medium of tarot cards, of tarot, the medium of, right, to get those messages. I don't make things complicated. I'm explaining them at a level, is all. If I need to explain something in using more familiar terms, I can, for sure. But this is the way that I speak about it, because this is the way that I know it. This is the way that I'm living it. I can alchemize it and say that it's between the conscious and the unconscious mind, but not even that does it justice, because it's between the heart and the rational mind, the intuitive mind and the rational mind. The unconscious mind doesn't have really a realm to be, as it's always moving. It's always going to be there. It's not really a battle to go against that. Well, that's good. A lot of times the cards hinder their gifts, because it's not using it right. If they knew what tarot was, it could be different. Because it would I don't know, dude. And not only that, but the zodiac of the cards are wrong for some of them too. I don't know why people haven't noticed that yet. Don't you dare call a magician a fucking water sign. What the hell do you mean the magician's water? That don't make no sense. I would say that the fool is all the elements before I mean the magician is all the elements before I dare say it's water. It has all the suits on it. I would say it's everything before that. But here people go, no, it's Pisces. Says who? Who the fuck said it's Pisces? That bitch Aries. It's the beginning. It's the first flame you get. It's a good flame. No, the fool's Aries. My bad. The magician's Mercury. I was talking about the fool, but I said the magician. I don't know why. Some people think the fool is Pisces. My bad, because that's the intuitive let jump. But the dog is your rational mind, and it's shown that way as it's being white rather than a black dog, which would be the intuitive mind. But fucking, I don't know. Let me do this. Cool. But peace. Welcome in, welcome in. How are we doing? Peace to you as well. Yeah, definitely take care of yourself at this time. Always, always, always take time to heal self and to just take time to yourself. That was a lesson I had to learn. I'm still kind of learning it, but it's, I don't know. I like making other people happy, but if I'm not happy, ain't no one else gonna be happy. But you got this. You got this. I believe in you. Well, I don't even believe in you. I know that you can. I won't say the believe. I would say I know you can. And I'll leave it at that. Do I even want to know what's happening in here? I don't. I don't want to look in that chat no more. I'm fine. I'm never looking at any message anyone sends me again on stream ever again. That's not okay. Yeah, get a just oh my god, what the fuck is it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like is a cleansing rod? Is that what they're called? It's just a copper rod. I don't know how to make them. But they cleanse the radio waves and the fucking chemtrails and shit that people leave behind. If you put those out, it like eradicates it from your house. Because really the energetic field that they mess with is like right here. Like if I were to stand up, it would be that far from my head, right? That's how high above like the energetic fucking field is above our head, basically. That they alternate and fucking mess with us with. That's as far as it goes up. So if you stick a fucking copper rod around, or you start wearing copper if you can, because some blood types and some like acidic types with your blood can fuck up and make the copper rust, which is really weird. You might need to get that checked out. That happens to you, but you can do that, and it prevents radiation and stuff from getting to you. You don't have to wear like the whole tinfoil things. You can use copper. But yeah. Yeah, you don't um don't worry about that. Please don't born life or highborn life. My bad. A lot of readers, a lot of times it happens. If if it's truly a message from the divine, it will come at you multiple times. If it's truly a message that you need to hear from the divine, the same message or very similar or the same phrases will be used in a message that you need to hear. Trust me, repetition is key when it comes to it. So don't, like, if people are saying a bunch of random stuff, don't worry about it. But if someone's like, hey, this, or you need to do this, and this, and then a few weeks later you hear, hey, do this, and this again, you probably need to go ahead and do that. Other than that, like, that's just using discernment. Like, but they will let you know. Don't just like don't just, that's even going for me. Like, if I give a message, don't, if I say, go do this, don't listen to me. I'm just flesh. I make errors. The only thing in me that doesn't make errors is the heart space that gets the information pure. When it relays the information, it's going to two people at once, dude. I'm playing a game of telephone. I gotta make sure that I'm grounded in self and not getting a bunch of random thoughts, so I can actually portray messages clearly. So repetition is key, and always test the spirit. Like, don't just take it for like, oh, I trust this person, cool, but do you trust their spirit? Do you trust their spirit? Do they feel like they're giving you something that they're actually meaning to give you, or like, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure about that. That's the biggest key of discernment. Because it can fit the picture. The frame can look beautiful and all, but does the picture fit in the frame? Is the thing. The frame can look like crazy beautiful, but the picture could be super fucking tiny. It's like, that don't work. You know, be careful. Just you got to keep eyes out with this. You have to keep eyes out with it. They will tell you multiple times. You will get, and not only that, you'll get chills. You will feel it. Sometimes the word hits you and it's just, fuck, I got chills now. Oh, like I just got lighter. I felt like a heat wave. Like, all these signs that you'll get, and then sitting with it. Did that make me feel good? How was all these things? Like, for me, the sirens, when sirens go off, that's usually my confirmation for, like, hey, good job, or whatever the fuck. That's like that's just been my thing for years. Anyone on this channel has known that shit. Anytime sirens come by, something weird happens. But yeah, when we get down to the realms of things, we get our confirmations when they need to come through. I think I might have glimpsed at it, or like know what it is, but I've never like really delved into Chinese street vending or watching it. Yeah, that's usually a fun sign. Good old return to sender or something. Goodness gracious. People be doing all sorts of shit for no reason. It's really unfortunate though, because like it just is a mental battle. And if you think of those people as being silly, then you're taking everything they're doing as ingenuous, and they can't do a damn thing to you. I've literally done glamour spells over people who are trying to harm me, and it's like, they're just children. They don't know no better. They're just babies. Like, they're fine. They're like 3 years old. They really don't know better. It's fine. And then nothing would happen. They would get mad. They're fucking. It's a mental thing, dude. If I don't want you to harm me, if I receive it as no, it's going to be no. The only time it's not going to be no is if somehow this bitch up here says, oh, it's yes though, and then I go, oh, maybe you're right. Stay solid in what you have. Don't build your foundation on sand. Don't let the waters sweep it away, because those waters are not coming from the heart space. Those waters are coming from a storm from the mind. While there's clouds up there. Build your house on solid ground. So when that storm comes, it don't wash away what you've built up with your feelings, and you ruin it, and it all collapses. It stays sturdy. Certain things might get bumped and banged, but for the most part, you'll still be sturdy and standing, and you'll just work off on an easier point from there. I've never heard of a whip poor will bird, but I need to hear what they sound like now. I need to know what they look like, too. I've seen these things. I've never heard one before. I don't think they're like near me. Yeah, seriously, stranger danger, dude. I don't care if someone says I'm the highest priestess in the world. Bitch, I'ma test you. What's 1 + 1? And if you say 2, I'm leaving. It's 3. Mommy and daddy make me. You ain't no high priestess if you ain't no shit. Come to me, say you a high priestess, talk about occult knowledge. You don't even know the first fucking thing. Get out of here. Goodness gracious. But hey, some people are though. Some people, I'll put my hands up. Some people are. Some people will fucking take that test and they'll run. They'll school you with the same test you gave them, dude. And it's like shit. Never mind. You good. You good. You got me. You get humbled on this journey. You really do. There are people that I met that I had a test and they fucking rocked my world. I'm like, okay, good. I can learn a few things from you. Like no, no bad blood, no worries. I just gotta test my spirits. You feel? I didn't talk to him directly, but when I first ran into phase one, I didn't. I thought he was just egocentric, dude. I really did. But I then learned that egocentric means centered in I, centered in the self, centered in the observer. And then it was like, well, he is egocentric. I just had a different definition that made him seem lower than who he actually is. So I had to do a lot of that work when I bumped into him. I did a lot more of that. It was very good. Other than that, because he mainly just posts about his music and gets his name out there. He's very big on like clout chasing, because clout is fish. He's a fisherman. He's trying to find the people to take them back home, wherever their home is. He just wants to get them there. So I thought he was just all big about the music and stuff, and then his lives for like days after days was like nothing but factual information, talking about Masonic secrets and stuff, like breaking things down, bringing people up on his live and talking to him personally, having, hey, ask me questions about this. He knows, he very much knows his shit, and it was more of just like me being like, I don't know if I can trust people, that made that sort of a thing. So he rocked my world with that shit for sure. He definitely know his shit, and he does not hide anything. I DM'd him once. I read one of his books and was asking him a question about something, and he answered back in a riddle, in which I solved that riddle and got my answer, and it was a very interesting rabbit hole, that involved the evangelist. And how do you fucking say their name? The evangelist. Thank you. I just the evangelist. It was a very interesting rabbit hole of the evangelists, that I went down, and how that whole thing was started up. And that came from his book, that had nothing to do with any of that. I just caught up on it. It was like, what do you mean by this? And he's responded with the riddle. When you're a mystic, you can speak like that to others, and they pick it up. So after I got that, I was like, no, you are who you say you are, because first of all, you are who you say you are because you fucking did that. And I'm who I am. I'm who I say I am, a little bit, to a degree, not fully, but to a degree, because I'm still learning, obviously. Because I was able to actually answer that riddle. It's like answering the riddle of the Sphinx for the first time. You begin to actually realize, oh, I'm on the path. However that is for you. Whatever riddle the Sphinx gives you out of the fucking 24 it can give you, I think. It has the one question, and it's just time. And then the other questions that it asks you. But that's not even like related. That goes to like going and getting your passage to the fucking Duat. That has its own other course of things that you're doing with there. That's how you find like your what is it? It's your master. It's the lost word, the master call, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I am not a masturbation. If I have any masturbations in here, please help me. I am not a masturbation by any means, but I've done my research a little bit. But I think it has to do with the lost word, which is like your resonance, your actual spiritual tone. I believe. I don't know. Kind of. From what I've researched, it makes sense to say that. But again, I'm not a Mason. So I always like have to, and I don't know any other like Masons other than like Faze, so I don't really want to ask him all the questions, and I want to ask like all sorts of people, but I do my research on shit. I'm interested in stuff. I really I love it. It all depends. I even forgot how the first riddle of the Sphinx goes, but I remember the answer, which is bad. I should remember the riddle. I think it's like what has no arms, what has no legs but can run, no mouth but can tell. And something, and no eyes but can see. And the answer is time, I believe. I think that's the riddle. I'm not sure. I believe that is off the top of my head, like trying to draw it up. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Yes, yeah. That's when most of your signs will be prevalent to you. Um, and it's not because of anything bad, but it's to show you more of like the path to walk on. At that point, the lights become more of beacons within the fog that you're walking through. Um, but yeah, a lot. Whenever I was in my rock bottom period, I had a lot of signs, a lot of drawings to things. I was drawn to do deep meditations, very very deep meditations on things. I was drawn to sit outside like all night at one point to just like meditate and just be comfortable with like the darkness and in that sense, and releasing like sort of fears and with that. There's a lot of things you'll go through. Um, but yeah, you do get a lot of signs because it's like not the forces around you and the forces within you are on the same page. You have to move out of this rock bottom energy. You don't want to be there. None of the parts of you want to be there. So it's fully agreed upon that that it's going to happen, and that's where your full manifestation happens. If you really pay attention to when you're at rock bottom, when you start to climb back up, you'll notice how connected your brain is to your heart and how non-negotiable that interaction is, where the brain always goes, yes, it's what this thing wants to do. But then when you leave that situation, when you're out of that survival mode, that dense survival mode, it loosens that control. Oh, I can do what I want to do now because I'm out of there. I've got what I needed and I'm free to go. That's what we work with. That's kind of what we're working on. So when you hit rock bottom, like again, your whole system is lined up and like, yeah, we need to leave this, so let's do this. Even if I'm afraid to, something in me is gonna kick me forward and make me do it because it needs to be done now, not later. And that's that call, that's that complete connection where like, hey, do this, okay, I'm doing this, we're doing it, right? But that's like teaching you how to get there. That's also why when you leave your rock bottom era, usually you get what you want, and it happens in such a grand way where it feels very mystical and like, oh, this can't be real. It's because you literally manifested it in because you were at full agreement with yourself. If you can remember and tap into that space again, you can manifest whatever the fuck you want. But it's about maintaining that energy, maintaining that structure, while also being in your current state. And that's the difficult part because you're not back there where you used to be. Now you're here with this new knowledge of self. So now it's a lot more difficult to like push through that. But yeah, my ancestors were loud as fuck too. Like my angels, again, like the whole acid thing. I looked in the mirror for a while, and I was talking with one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, hold on, I gotta go through something real quick," and I hung up on him. And then immediately, like Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Archangel Uriel ripped my ass in half and was like, "You don't need to be doing this shit. You're wasting your life. Your room's a fucking mess. You have to like do something." And I was like, okay, like what do I do? And they told me what to do. And I got up, and after I sobered up, I got up and did it. I took me a nap after it, and did it. You know, they will beat the fuck out of you in a way of love. They won't really beat the fuck out of you, but they'll make sure they get the message across of, hey, you need to go. It's time to move. Um, but yeah. Just know that it's all out of love. Don't let the signs scare you. Make sure that you're taking the signs in with love and care. Like transmute it if it is fear, because it's like the signs are there to help me move forward. The signs are there to help me grow. The signs are here to help me progress. This is why they're here. It's okay to see so many signs. It can be overwhelming. It really can. But just remind yourself that this is fine. This is what I needed. I needed these signs of where I needed to go. I needed these signs. I needed my guides to come in and start screaming, yo, do this, do that. I needed that. So now that it's happening, I should be in this energy of comfort, of ease. It's finally happening. I can move now. It's fucking let's go, right? So work with that. Just over. It's like that's the hard part. We feel that. We feel that low. We feel that finally. But the brain goes, no, it's panic. It's bad because look at all this shit happening. Something we're changing. We're changing. Who cares? We're changing. That's good. Let us change. Stop worrying. Let me grow. No, but if you grow, like you won't know where you're gonna be at next. Okay, good. I don't want to know where I'm at. If I know where I'm at here, I would rather be somewhere else. Let me go somewhere else. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be better than this. That's what you got to remember. That's what you got to like keep reminding yourself when you're going through this journey. Is like it's going to be okay. It's stressful, dude. And this is the funny part. When you get the hang of it, they'll push you to your edge. They'll get you right to your breaking point, and then it's like, okay, you're good. We just want to see where you are actually at. Now that this has become a practice of you daily, how far can you actually do it when things are pushed against you? You can do it in comfort, but can you do it in distress? Let's find out. And you get pushed to your limit, the limit hits, things start growing up again, you're fine, you're good. Yeah, exactly. That's when you ascend. That breaking point. If you make it through and you don't break, you're good. If you break, you do the lesson over again. That's fine. It's okay to break, but don't like let that break be such a detriment to where you have to like start over from a lesser point where you can just begin off where you were at, you know. But that's the make or break point. And it, you know, whether that's breaking out of a situation or breaking out of being small to going big, however it is for you, that's that point. You're ascending is all. That's what you want. It takes you gotta crack the egg. You're inside the shell. You have to break that. You think it's easy for that baby chick to crack open the egg? No. It's easy for us because we're fucking strong. We have the muscles and ligaments to do that shit. They just have their beak that isn't like fully even hard yet. They gotta do all sorts of shit to get that out. They gotta pop their head against the shit and everything. They gotta move. They gotta struggle for a second. That's what we gotta do. We gotta struggle for a second. Then we move forward. Then they gotta learn how to fucking fly. Oh my god, they gotta learn how to fly. They jump out of the nest. They can't even. They don't even. Shit, I don't know. If you make it, you make it. You don't, you don't. That's the fool's journey right there, baby. You flying out. That's why the fool has his fucking. That's why the fool looks like that. Hold on, let me get the fool card out. That's why the fool his fucking his wings are fledging. I'm gonna just say it that way. His wings are fledging. That's why his wings are fledging like that. He's about to make the leap. He never made this leap before in his damn life. He ain't ever jumped. He got Toto, the white dog, barking at him all the time. Hey, be careful of this danger. Be careful of that danger. Bro's on a mission, though. We gotta go learn how to fly. I want to become the chariot. I gotta get my wings to fly. My wings aren't on my back. My wings are inside my mind. I skipped over the fool, so I guess I'm not supposed to pull him out. But I want to be the chariot. The wings are on my mind. I'm being led by both the intuitive mind and the rational mind. Well, not led, but I'm listening to both the intuitive and rational mind, and they're both agreeing on the same thing. And I'm able to just fly forward with it. That's what we're working with. Dude, see, that's the thing. It's a lot of people tried to do that with me on shrooms. A lot of people try to use shrooms to like take advantage of me. And anytime I was on shrooms, it was like that's kind of like, dude, I have a shaman in my blood. Don't do that. Like I was sitting there like talking to my roommate's cat one day. He just ran in my room. I was like, what are you in my room for? He looked at me and meowed. I said, black magic? Who the hell doing black magic? And my roommate looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I said, I know you ain't been doing black magic. I'll kick your ass. And I looked back at the cat and said, who's doing the magic? And fucking cat walked over to his owner. I was like, okay, you just got outed by your cat, dude. You can't take advantage of me. I'm gonna talk to your cat. Hide your animals. Don't hide your kids and your wife. Hide your fucking animals. I'm gonna talk to them and figure out all your secrets. Did they feed you this morning or have they just been too lazy? Do I have to feed you? Because I will, and then I'll rub it in their face that I had to feed you. You know what I mean? But that's just the thing. Like some people find out they're like, I will say, drug like the whole shamanic journey of like taking hallucinogens and stuff, it's not for everyone. It shouldn't be so publicized the way it is. It could definitely help, but it's not for everyone. especially if you're on a shamanic, if you are like on a journey of being a shaman, you're not supposed to use these things for to trip. You need a purpose. You need to be in delving in your gifts. You need to be having journeys and seeing who you are at that point. It's less of tripping. It's the actual seeing beyond the veil and experiencing the deeper realms of you. It's not tripping. I don't trip. That's why I talk to my friends. It's like, oh, dude, I love tripping on stuff. Like, dude, if I ever did shrooms again, I'm not gonna be around anybody. I'm gonna be by myself. I tell people that all the time. Like, if I ever do shrooms again, I'm being by myself. Like, no one's gonna be around me. I do not care. I don't want anyone around me. I can't handle it. It's at the point to where like I used to do it around like two of my friends, and it was just like I would pick up on everything they would be like feeling, and not only that, but just trying to do my own thing. And it's just like I can't. I can't be here and listen to people and do my own thing when I'm on that. I'm on a one-pace journey at that point. And like, some people don't like that, but I don't do stuff for I don't do those things for fun. If I'm gonna do shrooms ever again, it's for the shamanic journey. I have to. It'd be the only reason why. But at the same time, like I overstand like smoking and stuff, taking that relaxation off and things. I kind of want to like get into like herbal combinations and stuff to like make like to make like legal joints of like blue lotus and shit. Like I think that would be funny as fuck. Like not even funny, but I think it'd be fun. It would be funny and fun if I started like selling a bunch of just like joints with rolled up like rosebuds and shit and like blue lotus, red lotus. I think that'd be fun. I would like to do that. Or like getting like mixing different aromas for like meditations and shit. Like I would like that. That would be cool. And it would have stuff to like detox your lungs. It wouldn't just be smoking to relax or to go on your journeys or to astral or lucid dream or whatever. It would also like help the body, rejuvenate blood cells, clean. What is it? I forgot what it is. It's mug. I think it's mugwort or St. John's wort. I think that can clean the lungs. It helps with the mucus in the lungs and stuff. But I want to do stuff like that instead of just like the whole like psychedelic and hallucinogen stuff that the Mullen, and that's what it is. Thank you. But I want to like do all that. Uh, Dude, see, that's what I'm. Boo boo. That's the thing. I want to have like this whole metaphysical shop thing that has not only things that everyone else would want, but also things like I've personally made, like tarot classes and stuff that would be there, like in person, like group classes and shit. I want to have like all of it there, but it's like it's it's that journey, dude. It's the journey. I'm not gonna say what is lacking. I'm gonna just say it's the journey because I gotta stop saying that shit. It's just the journey of getting there, and we're on the journey there, so it's gonna happen. One way or another, it's gonna happen. Whether it's an online business or in person, I don't give a damn. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I've been, I'm doing research on herbs already. I've been doing that for a while. I just got to do other things related to businesses. I want to take my LLC out of my all caps name and put it into one where I can personally be in control of it so that the government doesn't do any fucking thing about it first. So I'm going to do that first, if anything. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm not gonna be starting it like immediately, like just all online. Like I'm gonna be bringing it with me everywhere. Everywhere I go outside, I bring my tarot deck with me. Like it's not even like I always have it on me, so it wouldn't even be different. I would go places and have like like here's random crystals, here's all these things. I need to get like a ride downtown. I just need a ride downtown, dude. Yeah, I'm starting it online. I don't have the only thing I'm missing online is the herbs. Like my website is good. I just don't have the funds to keep it up with all the services that I have. Um so it is like online, but it's like more like email based. Um but I offer all of that, spell work, custom sigil making, contracts, things of that nature. I offer all that stuff already. Um I just don't have the herbal stuff down. And I also need to find jackal bones, because if I'm gonna do osteomancy, I'm called to using jackal bones, and I'm trying to find jackal bones, and I can't find anyone who has jackal bones. The one place I found that had any sort of jackal bone only had one. So I don't know who I gotta hit up for get jackal bone, and I don't want it to be like unethically sourced either. I want it to be like ethically sourced, because I don't need to worry about my bones having some form of trauma spirit on it that I gotta cleanse off. I want it just to be normal. You know what I mean? They don't have jackal in the food section, do they? What the hell? I've never. I don't think so. And the only reason I need jackal bones is because I'm stubborn about it. Like, I don't need jackal bones. I just really want to use jackal bones. It's just something. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just. like, I was talking about jackal bones, and I look up and see grocery store organic food section. Like, I don't think they have jackals, and like, I can't walk into Kroger and go, "Hey, do you have a jackal bone I could use?" That'd be a crazy world, though. Imagine just going to a grocery store. Hey, do you have jackal bones? They just pull out jackal bones. Oh my god. At least it's not people, Frax. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about it. I know too much about bones and what you can do with bones. And what people do with bones. I know too much about bones. I'm gonna leave it like that. Damn. See, like, I don't know. I could use any bones. Like, really, honestly, I would be okay with any animal bone. It's just about they need to be ethically sourced, because for osteomancy, I don't want to use unethically sourced bones, and I also I don't really want them like colored, or like, you know how they do like the aging to them. I don't want any of that done to the bones. I'd rather them just be as natural as possible, like, plus like the bleaching, the disinfectants that go in and stuff, right? But I want it to be as natural as possible, kind of. I don't know. Of course, that's like that's the ultimate goal, but like, I could just pick up any bone and start learning with them. I have an uncle that like hunts, but I don't have contact with him no more. I don't even know if he's alive anymore or not. He was pretty old, but he had a bunch of bones. And most, I don't know, man. See, that's the thing. If I knew how to clean the bones, that wouldn't bother me. I'd clean them. But I don't know. I don't know how good. I don't know how well it would go mailing like bones. It just seems so funny. Yeah, it's so weird. We get gelatin and marshmallows from bones when there's a literal marshmallow plant that exists, and like gelatin trees that give off like gelatin sources that we have. Like we don't need to use bone marrow. We don't need to be cannibals anymore, dude. Stop. Sorry. But they have marshmallow plants, and they're better for you, and they're cool. They actually like are health benefits to you. And they still taste like normal marshmallows. And you can just put honey in it for sweetener. You know what I mean? How to clean boats. It's an interesting process from what I know. But you mess with a lot of chemicals that are very dangerous and can kill you if you mix them in the wrong order, or use too much of them. You have to have a license to get some of them as well. At least one of them, I think. I think you can use a substitute for it, but like a lot of the chemicals, you at least need like a license for, um, or maybe like a permit to get it. You know, just be like, hey, I need to clean these bones, because they use a lot of interesting things. That's the wrong button. Not the Windex. Oh, dude, I would lose my mind seeing someone scrape a bone with a Windex. I would laugh. That'd be funny. I really don't know what all you need to clean bones. Like, I know that they have to have like a full-on like chemical bath. I I know someone who's a taxidermist. I could ask them. I know them. I know of them, I should say. I don't know them. I don't talk to them. I know of them. Is it only just boiling? Yeah, see, that's what my uncle would do. My uncle would hunt. He would only keep the antlers and the fur, but he would give the bones to like the local natives because he was in South Dakota. He would give the bones to the natives that he lived around, and he would give the meat to the butchers. So nothing went to waste. He was really good about it. Even like he would make like deer jerky himself and stuff, all sorts of stuff. Nothing went to waste. He was very ethical with everything he did, dude. He made a Santa Claus outfit out of deer pelt and antlers and stuff out of all the deers and stuff that he had hunted. And he would go around during Christmas time acting like Santa Claus because he had a big belly and a white beard. He very much looked like Santa Claus, like actually in the whole setup. But it was 100% like homemade from like deer pelt and antlers. It was really fucking cool. Um, but yeah, he did all sorts of shit like that. Okay, well I guess that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know if it's that easy. Then shit, dude. I just go outside and pick some up. I just go outside and go roadkill hunting. Fuck it. We got raccoons. We got possums. Oh damn! It's 1 minute before. I'm gonna get that alarm. I'm gonna have to do my 7-minute meditation. I guess. I wasn't talking because it was gonna hit 4 o'clock and that the fucking alarm was gonna go off and mute me. But yeah, I've always been interested in like taxiderm stuff. I don't know. I literally just grew up around. I think it's an Appalachian. I'm blaming it on the Appalachians is what I'm doing. I don't care. We're not supposed to blame, but I'm blaming it on the Appalachians. Where I was at taught me too much about too many things. I didn't know the boogeyman was actually real. I didn't know it could actually get you. That was awful. That was a journey and a half. Dude, it was weird, man. All sorts of things are real. We don't think that they are, but they fucking are, man. The world we live in. It's you know, the boogeyman is really just like a title or like a cover up name for like those entities. Like sleep paralysis demons can be considered the boogeyman in that sense. The whole like in your closet, a monster under your bed comes from like monitoring spirits in a way, or like stalking spirits. I forgot the actual term for them, and I can't remember it. Um, it's not coming to me. I'm not gonna worry about it. But it's like a whole thing. Whenever an imaginary friend turns sour, it can become a boogeyman. It's a whole thing. It's not really worrying about like what the real one is, but just knowing what the story of the boogeyman entails, and seeing like what it actually is, and there's this shadow man, a shadow person that stalks, and it says kill. Um, I've never heard of a boogeyman or a source do that, but possession or like fear and blockages and things like that definitely can. Um, I still can't remember what I was trying to say for what that spirit was, but whatever. Um, but yeah, that's the whole thing. For me, I had an imaginary friend, and he was cool, but he started to manifest a little bit too much and started doing things on the physical that I didn't do. And my mom didn't know that I wasn't joking, and she got mad at me until one day something happened when we were together, and I was like, I didn't do it, and she was like, okay, you need to tell your imaginary friend to leave. Uh, I wasn't. No one taught me. No one was like mentoring me when I was doing like magic or doing this shit, dude. It was really bad. Like I could have been opening up portals and stuff as a child, because I had like a bunch of knowledge. I was looking up all sorts of stuff I shouldn't have. Luckily, I didn't. Luckily, I made it out okay. Uh, I ended up somehow not um, messing things up too much. Yeah, that's what happens whenever we hear like disembodied voices and stuff. It can definitely strike us with fear. A lot of us are like really powerful spellcasters and like telekinetic and stuff, but we got scared of doing those abilities as a child. We either scared ourselves or injured ourselves doing it, or were told to stop, and that made us like not go into our gifts. Some people actually strained themselves and got hernias and stuff and hemorrhages because of their gifts and trying to push or try to use their gifts, and that kind of pushed them away from it too. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Yeah, toxic workplaces are awful. I'm sorry to hear that as well, Pooh. Damn, okay, that's what's up. Yo, yo, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Yeah, see, that's the thing. When we practice magic when we're young without a mentor, it's definitely fucking scary. You would, you would know, for sure if you had something open though. When you would only leave a portal open due to carelessness, it would come back to you in like a thought form of like, oh, maybe I should do this because that's still open, and you brushed away in that sense. But you would be notified if you did have something there. If you feel called to, you can always do a meditation back to when you were like doing those things, and just like remember, like kind of delve back into your memory, remember when you were doing those things to see if you did open anything from like a more advanced view from now, knowing that what you created and being able to see more of that stuff now, having it be more matured within your body, you'd actually see if there was a portal there or not that needs to be shut down or anything. um in a way, yes. But it's more of a sensory detachment that you're dealing with in that sense. Um, so being aware of that, um, it could just be a sensory dissociation. But it is possible. It's not like, how do I describe it? Because it's possible, but not in like a direct way of you being in a different body. It's more of a timeline change where part of you is still wanting to interact with an old timeline or an old paradigm that isn't meshed or meshing with this one, with the current one, I should say. Not this one, but the current one that you're in, I should say. I can't just say this because, all right, after this card pull, probably like 10 minutes after this card pull, I gotta bounce and do my meditation so I don't forget. um Call on your ancestors, call on different beings. For closing portals, a lot of people do them in different ways. The easiest, most simplest way is to reverse engineer what you've done. If you can get back into that timeline where you did those things, you can see what you did, and you'll be able to read yourself because it's you. It's a lesser advanced version of you. You can literally pick up on those energies and pick up everything, the intent down to the bone. Reverse engineer that in that exact timeline. When you're there, when you're feeling those actions being made, know it's being made in reverse that as it's happening. And that just means to take that ingredient away. And if that ingredient was used for harm, use it for the opposite. If it was used to create something, use it to dissolute that instead. If an ingredient can do one thing, it has the ability to do the polar opposite. It just needs that intent to do so. It's how people use herbs to block people and how people can use those same herbs to unblock people. It's the same thing. You just reverse engineer it. If you know the ingredients, you know the spell, what it can't do nothing to you. You know a voodoo doll consists of a doll and needles. and you, if you can practice the defense of a needle, you know, poking your skin with the needle, knowing how that feels, that sensation, and numbing it, teaching yourself that that sensation does not actually trigger that nervous system. In that sense, it won't be able to actually poke through the energetic field because you won't recognize it as anything as a threat. It would come in, it wouldn't do anything, it wouldn't cause any harm because it wouldn't be a threat. It wouldn't cause the nervous system to spike up in that sense. And then you could just send that needle poke back. You would know at that, I mean, really at that point, you would know that there's no difference between the flesh of you and the flesh of theirs. Every flesh is the same. The only thing that's different is how we operate in these meat suits and how they physically look. So you can just, you know, then imagine that point of view being poked on that other person. You know who it is. If you, of course, if you know who's doing it, you know exactly. You can just pinpoint it back to them, and whatever comes and pokes me there will poke them. It's not my doll, it's theirs. You know, their intent was to have a doll. It's not me. Their doll of me. That doll doesn't have to be me. That doll isn't me because that's it. It's not. It doesn't look like me or anything. You know, and then boom. But this is like mental. This is psychic mental defense. And I'm sorry, I'm getting I'm getting the cards. I've just been talking and shuffling. Let's say. And see you, Lisa. Take. Hopefully your husband feels better. And thank you for the good talk. I always love having them. But your card, tarot. I mean, I don't know why I called you. I don't know who I'm talking to. Hold on. Let me look who needed the reading. I have your card. I've just forgot the name. Goodness gracious. I'm so bad at this, dude. Oh, word. Huh. That's like a play of words. Anyway. Your card is the Five of Cups. So right now, the energy right now is like kind of what you're working with is regret. Learning to not feel that regret. In the Five of Cups, even the two, even though the Three Cups have been spilled here, that the distraction or things around you have been using a toll on you. You still have those two cups, that ability to connect back to self. And again, with the Five of Cups, the five of the senses, the five senses. I don't know why I'm struggling to read. It feels like it's jumbled. It just feels like there's a lot like crowded. You may be holding on to a lot of things that are causing this regret, or that's causing openings within the field from this regret, as well. But that's what I'm getting, like with the protection stuff. It feels like releasing regret was gonna help you. Not feeling bad about not listening to a download sooner. Not feeling bad for like actions that you've done or anything like that. Not even feeling bad for the actions that you haven't done, or things that you haven't done yet, or things that you put aside. Just ridding of that regret and knowing that things happen like in their own time. Even though you have an idea or a thought of doing it, it will have its own time to transpire. Really doing that, and even then, seeing the things on the physical that are kind of keeping you in an energy of doubt. What are you kind of giving into that makes you feel like you're unable to like pursue, or like what makes you feel like your downloads aren't believable, not even believable, but like are true downloads? What's keeping that disconnect from you, truly believe, knowing that the divine is speaking to you? I'm trying not to use the word believe, but what's keeping you from knowing like that the divine is actually truly speaking to you? It's just a call to know that the divine does speak to you. It's distractions, just the thoughts that, oh, this can't be this, that can't be that. As long as you test your spirits, you test who's channeling you, and you know that you're fine. But really, just like with regrets, there might have been some downloads or messages that you might have needed to say but just didn't get out, that you might just need to be okay with those not getting out. Knowing that that message will reach the individual when it needs to get there, or however. But releasing regret, don't be, and even when we talk about that, releasing the regret's gonna help you release the self-doubt. A lot of our self-doubt comes from us seeing or observing our like repeated patterns, while also being regretful of repeating them, when that just kind of amplifies it. So I feel like just sacral chakra, sacral and solar plexus chakra kind of working. And the only reason why I'm saying sacral uh, is kind of that creativity, that slight hint at the intuition, that slight hint at being able to expand, not just a mindset, but like the set for what you're able to allow to come in and nurture you in that sense. I got you, boo. Exactly. A lot of our grief and trauma is in our shoulders and hips, because that's where we hold most of our pressure. And our abdomen. Do you know how much pressure you put on your butt daily? I don't think you do. There's a lot of pressure that goes in your center mass, like on your butt, dude. It's crazy. And it all comes from stress. It really does. That and like bad body positioning, but like that's another thing to get into later. But it comes from stress. Yeah, hips store trauma. So stretching out your hips releases trauma in that sense. It's a huge trap for trauma. I don't know why, but the saying "it goes to my hips" is an actual. It's not even a joke. It goes straight. That's where all the trauma ends up, really. And I feel like it's just because of there's the supportives. But like I guess. But let me get your card, boo, and I got you. All right. After this one, I'm gonna have to head out because this alarm is going crazy. Yeah, singing, even humming is good. Humming will really help as well. Uh, I just say humming because I like to hum more than I sing. Really, some people who aren't comfortable with their tone of like their pitch and stuff will mainly I can't speak. Will mainly hum. Goodness gracious, I was gonna say like 1,000 different words. Anyway, um, yeah. With Boo, with your card for releasing anger, we have the Queen of Pentacles reverse. With the Queen of Pentacles reverse, the Queen of Pentacles is all about nurturing what you have on the physical. There could be some tasks at hand that you've forgotten about, some things on the physical that you need to take care of, or even just the physical health of your own, like exercising, getting out and walking, that's causing this anger. And anger just isn't caused by that feeling or or actions. It can be caused by tension. It could just be in a very tense place and not really mad or angry, but just agitated or really uncomfortable. I don't want to say stringed out because I know that has another term to it, but like just stretched to your limit, I'll say. And it's because of something not being taken care of or not being noticed or seen, nurtured in any form on the physical. So take time to really nurture those things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need the therapy or anything of that nature to that you need to go to it or anything. You know what I mean? Like if you have a therapist or anything, it's not saying you need to do that, but you just need to see what is around you, and how you're interacting with it. And in the sense of what you receive from it, what are you outputting? What things do you have that are going to output something? Like what steps have you not taken to help you release this anger? Because it's less of that. It might even, the anger might be coming from just the irritation of I've done everything I need to do on the physical, yet it hasn't come to me yet. And it's because you've done the physical work, but what about the nourishment? We sometimes get nourishment and physical work confused because we think that giving and giving and giving is nourishment, but that's not nourishment. We need to give it time to digest. We need to give the whatever we're pouring into time to actually move and adjust to what we're fueling it with. So I feel like that's what's going on. It doesn't really feel like it could be with patience, but it doesn't really feel like patience is like a huge thing. It just really feels like a need to uh, slow down almost. Maybe you're wanting things to go fast, and that anger is happening because of that. Maybe things are happening too fast, and you need them to slow down. I'm just seeing that because of the rabbit on the card. But regardless, it could even just be like feeling like something's delayed, springing forth, like something should have happened sooner. But regardless, boo, I just feel like for this especially, just focusing on what you haven't worked on or what you're desiring to work on that might be causing this sort of frustration or anger, so it can push you, so you can move forward. But yeah, I am I am going to do my meditation now. And I'm going to do my best to be back later. I don't know when later will be, but I will try my hardest to get back. I've been getting so distracted with so many other things recently. It's been crazy. But regardless, there's all the information, the email, the donation stuffs, the website that I have, and everything. And of course, I'm glad. I'm trying to get better at being here at least once every day. It's just every time I want to do something with this channel, so much stuff on like with other things that have like start ending up getting traction. And I'm like, okay, I got to juggle now. But I'm always gonna be here. Whether you need to email me or however, I'll respond and do the best that I can. Truly. But regardless, I love each and every one of you all to the moon and back tenfold.